do one more story and then I have something else to share with you. Our next storyteller is Ashley Jenkins and AJ the Sting. Find her after me, Lucky Charms. I had to read it like that. That's how she wrote it. And her story is titled, We've Got a Runner.
Woo! Alright, so the other day, I was using the restroom, and this young Asian woman would not stop staring at me. She goes outside to check the sign on the door, and when she returns, her face is lathered in confusion. I figured to put her mind at ease, I finally let her know, I'm a woman. She smiles at me awkwardly, runs into the stall, and proceeds to stare at me through the crack until I leave. Now, I can no longer formulate a phony smile because, for one, my goddamn boobs are bigger than hers. And two, I utilize this restroom because it's so far away from other classes, I try to avoid situations like this. Partially true. That, and because it's a pretty peaceful place to shit. Now, I've been running for situations like these for what feels like centuries. I can no longer run, and that's why I'm here before you today. Now, at the tenderoni age of 3, I had what felt like this uncanny attraction to women. I'd figure at 3, the closest I'd ever get to being with a woman is a Michael Jackson lookalike. And before you judge me, remember the time is where he should have stopped. Now, at the age of 5, I remember playing with Super Soakers on Christmas Day because this is South Florida, and it was boys against girls. The boys were getting their asses whipped, because again, I said boys against girls, and they were taking their shirts off because they were soaked. Eventually, my shirt had gotten soaked, so I take my shirt off too. My sister wasted 5 valuable minutes of wartime to explain to me how boys' tits were different from girls' tits. Here I am, gracing my late 20s, and I have yet to grasp this concept. Now, eventually, I did make my way down to high school. Yeah, we were there.
I made my way to high school, and boys had become like Lunchables. Easy to stack, harder to swallow. Take that how you will. And my mother had gotten proof of the pudding she did not want to swallow. I had a flip phone, God bless the flip phones, and it had fallen behind the bed the night before. I was running late for school, as I am every morning.
We know.
And I had gotten to school. By the time I got there, I realized I lost my flip phone. I had dropped it behind the bed. I said, calling from my friend's phone, I said, Mom, I need it. I'm gonna die without it. And she says to me, no problem, Jay. I'll be there as soon as I can. Hours upon hours have passed. Hour 4, I'm thinking to myself, we're 5 minutes away from the school. You don't have anything else to do, girl. Come on, bring me my cell phone. Hour 5, it dawns on me, she's seen my naked pictures. My bad, I said my naked pictures, I mean my ex-girlfriends, plural. I'm afraid to go home. I get there and she's calm, which is even more scary. She says to me, why? I say to her to make the situation easy. We were just comparing and contrasting body parts, no big deal. I think she would have believed me if Sabrina's labias weren't spread across the screen. The biggest takeaway from this, though, is that I wasn't born in an era of 4G LTE. Now, high school did bring about a lot of firsts for me, including my first girlfriend. Her name is Alicia. It was movie time, and it was my turn to get us a ride to go to the movies. My mother's out thrifting, so I call her and I say, hey, we need a ride, do you mind? She says, I don't mind giving you a ride, Jay, but I need your room to be clean, and I need Alicia to wait outside on the porch. Do not let her inside of my house. Me realizing the inhumanity of this on a South Florida summer day, I invite her inside. on my bed where I lay on top of her. My mother's lizard brain must have went off because she parked her loud truck across the street, sneaks in through the back door, unlocks my room door with a quarter. I kid you not, I cannot make this up. She stands at the door, arms open wide. What y'all doing in here? I jump off of Alicia, who's 4'11". She sees my mother's legs spread wide. She runs straight through them. My mother, thinking twice as fast, grabs the broom by the door, chases Alicia out of the house. Thank goodness she left the back door open because Alicia runs past the pool, hurdles over the fence, all while my mom is still chasing her with the broom. And here I was thinking I was the runner. Now, eventually I made my way to the Navy, and I got married without anyone's permission. And my wife felt it necessary to tell my mother because she wanted to go to Miami. Her name was Serena, and if you're thinking Serena Williams, I need you to think the complete opposite. So I emailed my mother because if you know anything about Navy ships, they're made of steel. There is no service. I emailed her and everybody that talked shit about me at the family cookouts. I sent her the email with no response. Well, I managed to be getting service where I shouldn't have gotten service. And I get a voicemail from my mother and I can't really make out heads or tails what she's saying. So I decide to call her. With every ring, my heart is beating out of my chest. She picks up the phone and she begins to tell me how disappointed and disgusted she is with my decision. I'm crying. They tell me, Jenkins, you need to get off the phone. Somebody's coming. Somebody important is coming. I'm on the phone with somebody who's important. They eventually come in the room where I am, and they say to me, female, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Someone comes, intervenes, and says, she's on the phone with her mom. It's a very sticky situation. If you have to write us up, write me up. We're all in here. 1,500 miles away, and this is when I realized my run was on cruise control. Now, eventually, I did manage to get out of the military, and I did get back home. I knocked on Love's door when I was not looking for it. Her name is Karen, and she is the most gorgeous woman in the world. And if you are envisioning her right now, I promise you she's 1,000,000 times more gorgeous than that. If you can't tell, I will be marrying this goddess. And ever since I've told my mother, she's done everything in her power to try to break us up. Now, if you're really paying attention to this story, you'd see I thought I was the runner. But it seems that everybody else was running away from me. I was trying so hard to make everybody else happy when my happiness came in last place. My name is Ashley. I'm a bona fide lesbian. And I am a proud member of the LGBTQIA community. Thank you.
Ashley, was that your first story ever? Yes. That was her first story told ever. Storytelling, because each one of you has a story like that in you right now.